Hey everyone, good morning. Today is June 2nd, and the first thing we got to do on the list is cut the hay field. It's been about, I don't know, 8 days since I've cut it, but we've had so much rain that I haven't been able to get out there. And since we're going to cut the hay field, I've had a few questions on what kind of lawnmower I have or what kind of riding mower I have. And some people were hopeful that it was an old Cub Cadet or some other classic type of mower. And I hate to burst your bubble, but it's not. When we moved in here, the gal that owned the house that moved out, she left the riding mower, a lot of attachments, a lot of gardening tools, you know, a weed whip, leaf blower, all kinds of stuff, but she was moving into a townhome, so she wasn't going to need any of it. So that's why I have the mower I have. But when we finish the grass and move on to the H project again, I picked up some Purple Power. I've got plenty of it here. So I usually use oven cleaner, but I'm gonna try and give this a shot, see how it works. I know Squatch 253 uses Purple Power a lot. And then I also got a cheap, or inexpensive I guess you could say, rifle cleaning kit and a couple different size brushes. And that's what I'm going to use to clean the oil galleys on the engine block. So we'll try it anyway. I don't know how well it's going to work because it's not a flexible rod. It's a rigid rod. So we'll see how it works. I don't know. Worst comes to worst, we'll just blow them out the best we can with the pressure washer. And I mean, with 3,000 psi, that's a lot more psi than what's going through those oil galleys anyways. So it'll blow most of whatever's left in there out. So anyways, let's walk into the backyard. I got another thing to show you here, but we'll walk into the backyard and I'll open up the shed. You can see what's in there. Alright, so before we open the doors on the shed, I just wanted to show you guys real quick. I talked to a friend of mine who lives only about a mile down the road. I wasn't aware of him living so close. So I got to give a big shout out to Sean. Thanks for contacting me about a replacement block for the D. So this one's missing a stud. It's probably going to need the water manifold studs replaced, but I got good studs on the other block, so that should be pretty easy. And the cylinders look pretty good. They're not too heavily pitted or anything, so they should clean up with a hone pretty nicely. There's a little bit of a ridge in them, but it's not too bad, so we'll probably be able to get away with just honing them out and running it. So that's a huge savings in a lot of trouble for this D. Let's see, another thing is I haven't done a startup video, a spring startup video for all these other tractors, so I'm gonna have to do one of those too. But right now we got to concentrate, on getting the grass cut or the hay field cut, and then get that all them motor parts all washed up and inspected. So that's kind of my goals for today. I don't think I'll get to a startup video today, but maybe by next weekend we can get it done. So it's kind of tough because during the week I have to stay in the house or stay close to the baby, so I can only get some stuff done on the weekends when my wife is home from work, and I work most weekends, so that makes it even more tough because during the day I have to sleep. So anyways, we'll open the shed and I'll show you what we got. Now, I mentioned earlier this spring that I have to build a new shed. Well, my wife and I talked about it, and we're probably going to put it off until we can just build a shop, because really there's no sense in me spending, you know, $2,000 to $3,000 to build a shed when I could put that money towards a shop, which is really what we really what we need. So this little 7x7 Rubbermaid shed will have to do, but here we go. Let's open the doors. That's what we got. It's a John Deere L111. So I don't know the year of manufacture, but it's pretty new. It runs good, you know. It came with the house, or the house came with the mower, one of the two, however you want to look at it. But as you can see, the shed's pretty packed full. I got this old lawn boy here, this old push mower. I'll gift this to somebody if they want it, because I never use it. So if anybody wants an old lawn boy, feel free to come and get it, because I never use it. But let's go ahead and fire this thing up. There you have it. Let's go ahead and cut some hay. Alright guys, we've got everything soaking down with purple power. Kind of got it laid out here on these pieces of plywood. And then I don't really care too much about this grass over here, because eventually I'd like to put a third stall of asphalt over here, so another area to park stuff. But I really don't have too much for you, except for the fact that I'm gonna start pressure washing. So you guys know what that all looks like. I'm not gonna record it, but we'll record the end result. All right, we'll see you when we get done. Okay, well, we got the first blasting done. pressure washing, and the Purple Power worked okay. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't great. I mean, so I got it soaking again with oven cleaner. I'll let this sit for probably 20 to 30 minutes, and then I'll blast it again. But everything's coming pretty clean. And just for fun, I pulled the rod bearing inserts out and the main bearing inserts out to see what we had for bearings in it. And the back sides of the bearings, if they're an undersize or oversized, depending on how you look at it. I call it undersized because the crank is ground under the factory specifications, so I call them undersized. But they'll be stamped on the back of those bearings, and mine are stamped 30 thousandths. So this one has had an overbore kit installed, and the crankshaft has been ground to 30 thousandths, which is, I believe, the maximum they can grind them. But the oil pressure was great. There was no knocking in the engine, so I'm guessing we'll probably be okay with bearings. I'll know when I measure out the crankshaft, but I'm guessing everything will be within tolerance. So let's see. I think that's about it. I'm just waiting for this stuff to soak up, and then we'll pressure wash it again, and from there we can let things dry and start measuring up, see what we got. But making progress, so stay tuned. Alright guys, well, we've got everything pressure washed as good as we can get it, and I did make an attempt at scrubbing out the oil galleys. There's a plug here. This is the magneto side of the block, so your oil filter housing's here. There's an oil galley plug here, another one here, another one here. There's one on the front side underneath where the timing cover plate goes, and there's another on the back side on the opposite end. So that galley runs lengthwise through the block, and then these galleys run up into some bearings like your cam bearings and crankshaft bearings, stuff like that. So I did the best I could with the brush I had, and I just used a rifle cleaning kit. So something like this, just a rifle cleaning kit, and then I used these brushes. These are just some extra ones that I haven't used yet, but it's looking like, though, that we might have to do sleeves and pistons in this. Number 3, this tractor must have been stuck at one time, because there's some pretty significant pitting in number 3. I don't think you guys can see it, but it's in there, probably about a quarter of the way down. So excuse me. So it's looking like we got to do sleeves and pistons, and then depending on what the crankshaft mics out at, we might have to do bearings as well. But there are no grooves worn in this crankshaft. If I take my fingernail and run it across the journals, it's very nice and smooth, so it'll probably just polish right up, just with a light emery cloth, and then we'll go from there. But everything's cleaning up pretty good. I still have to do the oil pan, but I wanted to save that because I need to scrape all the gunk out of the bottom and then probably wash it. I'll fill it up a little ways with diesel fuel and wash it with a brush, and then I'll pressure wash that. So, but everything's looking pretty good. We just gotta get an engine rebuild kit most likely. So obviously this isn't the first time this has been apart, and for the crankshaft to be ground 30 thousandths already, I would probably say that this thing's been apart more than once, because usually I mean, for a crank to have to go all the way to 30 thousandths, the first rebuild is pretty rare, I would think, but I could be wrong, you know, because they usually step it from 10 thousandths to 20 thousandths to 30 thousandths. Kind of lost what I was doing there, but you never know. Sometimes if the crankshaft is really egg shaped, you know, the journals are egg shaped, then they have no choice but to grind it as far as they can, so to get everything back true. But that's all I can do for today. I'm going to shove this engine block back in the cubby back there, and then my wife will be happy because she can park in the garage again for now. So that's about all. So we'll measure it up in the next video and probably start ordering some parts. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and thanks for wrenching with me.